Hey everyone, my name is Yuan, and I'm the co-founder of X-Camp. Today is our pleasure to invite one of the earliest X-Camp student alumni, Thomas, to share his journey from game lover to USACO Camp finalist. Now he's at MIT. And at the very beginning, I will play a quick video as an introduction to X-Camp.
Computer science and artificial intelligence are tools that will change the future. X-Camp Academy is a community dedicated to inspiring and cultivating the next generation of computer science and artificial intelligence talent. X-Camp Academy was founded in August 2017 in Silicon Valley by two Google software engineers. The name X-Camp was inspired by the variable X, which represents unlimited opportunities. X-Camp's curriculum system and training methodology is inherited from Mr. Xianyou Xu, a Chinese diamond-level international gold medal coach. Our staff here in the US is mostly composed of senior software engineers from tech companies in Silicon Valley and prestigious CS students from top universities. In addition, we have strong support from international and domestic competition winners in our coach team. From beginner-level Python to classic C++ courses and competition honors courses, X-Camp's curriculum is designed for students of all different levels. By participating in team-based competitions and facilitating frequent group study sessions, X-Camp also fosters an environment of collaboration to build each student's confidence in their ability to code. As of mid-2024, more than 300 X-Camp students have reached the USACO Silver division and above, including 60 in the Platinum division, and 27 were selected in the US and Canada national camps, out of which 15 were fresh in the 2024 season and 2 were selected for the US national team. In renowned high school contests, Stanford's Protocol and UC Berkeley's Calico, and other prestigious US programming competitions, such as the Harvard Programming Invitational, Teams Code, and Lexington Informatics Tournament, X-Camp students perform well, and we encourage students from being participants to problem writers and organizers. Our students received 13 MIT offers and many more from Stanford and UC Berkeley, thrilling us all. Here at X-Camp, we believe that children have unlimited potential and can change the world through coding.
Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to the X-Camp EDU forum. Today we have Thomas here. He is the 2023 USACO season finalist. He's currently the freshman at MIT. He is Hacker class of 2024, and he had been at X-Camp for 6 years and had been my student for several years. Hey, Thomas, do you want to quickly say hi to everyone? Cool. Let's come to. So today, we will mainly do the Thomas sharing section as a QA style to begin with, and we have already pre-collected some questions, and once we finish the collected questions, we will also enable a QA section for students and parents to ask questions. So if you have any question, feel free to post them in the chat, and we will answer them once we finish the collected questions. Thank you. Okay, so Thomas, as one of the earliest X-Camp student, could you share some of your learning experience at X-Camp? How did you start it at X-Camp, and why X-Camp to begin with?
So I guess like as the other slide said, I've basically been with X-Camp from the very beginning. I remember like sometime in middle school, my parents like dragged me to some like office building, and I learned about like turtle logo coding, which is like you kind of program a turtle to move around the screen and draw stuff. And I learned some like pretty like interesting, like it made some pretty interesting stuff with that. And like I guess that's kind of what got me into like coding in the first place. And from there, I guess like um as I kept taking classes, I got more into the competitive programming part of coding and like algorithms and problem solving. And yeah, and I guess I've just been doing that since.
Yeah, who was your first teacher at X-Camp when you were at beginner level?
Probably like you or Charlie. Uh,
Actually,
yeah.
it's teacher Tiger, right?
Wait, um, I guess that's true. I think like wait, were you my teacher for like the logo stuff?
Oh yeah, probably. So
Yeah.
basically, the first beginner sections were mainly about Turtle logos, and then later we have fundamental learnings too. Um, so do you remember before you enter Plantium, uh, what was your kind of timeline in passing each of the level at USACO?
I mean, like honestly, I was like passing one level every year. Uh, yeah.
So that means you probably pass bronze and silver. I kind of remember you passed that in 1 year, right? And then
Hmm. Yeah,
later,
yeah. Yeah. I think I passed bronze like near the end of a USACO season, and then I passed silver like somewhere in the middle of the next one.
right? And then also the whole class passed the USACO Silver. I think pretty much in the same contest, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
And
I think like
also,
most of us passed in that one contest, and then like there's Alex too who passed it earlier.
yeah, Alex too passed the gold the earliest, one contest earlier than everyone else. Um, and then do you remember how did you transit from Tiger's class to my class at 402, X-Camp 402?
Um, I don't know. I thought it was all just a natural transition.
Yeah, it's actually Tiger really highly recommended you to me, and I indeed went to check out your homework, and then indeed found out you are pretty outstanding in his class, and that's why we lifted you to 402, and then later I transit you to transfer you to higher level of class, and then later uh, uh, Coach Robert took over
Mhm.
and also Coach Peter took over too. So based on your experience at X-Camp, um, do you remember any very valuable or precious moments that would caught your if you come back to remember, and then those moments are the moments that you will remember.
Like some cool moments of I guess just like hanging out with a bunch of people in like the 603 class where Peter was teaching and like just like in general just hanging out with a bunch of friends in like all the classes. That was pretty fun. And I know that there's a lot of competition, friendly competitions going around in all the classes I was in, like who can solve homework problems the fastest or who can solve the most homework problems or like there's like mock competitions as well. And like I'm like sort of competitive, so like those are pretty fun to me as well. Yeah.
Okay. So, reflecting your 6 years journey with XCAM, what kind of challenge have you overcome in the past? I guess like in different level, you probably overcome the different things. Can you help the existing parents and students? They are going over the same thing as you did in the past.
Yeah, so I guess like one like challenging decision was basically I kind of like going from just like solving problems or like taking classes like for basically kind of fun to actually like seriously doing it. So like in the lower levels um I think like the homework was like maybe like 4 or 5 problems a week and like there's maybe some extra problems on top of that for like class. But I and like but it didn't take too long, maybe like a few hours per week. So I think going from that to like actually really dedicating yourself to like actually seriously practicing or like practicing could take like I don't know like maybe up to 20 hours if you're like being really serious every week. So like making that transition and deciding that like you actually want to really do this, that's a pretty tough decision, I guess, since you are sacrificing quite a bit of time.
Yeah, indeed. And I heard there are several of your classmates, they used to say like Thomas, or maybe they play game as well. But I guess you used to play some game too. But as a teacher, I don't have too much problem about it because I used to play game too. But do you think is a problem for students or parents for if the kids like to play game and they still want to do competitive programming?
I mean, absolutely not. I think like pretty much like everyone I know plays some sort of games or whatever. It's like just like a good way to relax and have fun. Um, I think like maybe it becomes an issue if you're playing too much games, but like I think you can like play a lot of games, but as long as you like don't do that like continuously and like maybe you can like play bursts of long periods of games, but like as long as you don't like maintain that, then and you can like keep up with everything else like your coursework, your like practicing your other extracurriculars, then um I think it's totally fine.
Yeah. So back when you were trying to pass the silver level, I still remember it's you who asked me to talk about one specific algorithm one day before the contest, and that algorithm was a sweep line. And then after that, there happened to be one sweep line algorithm problem in the silver contest that time. And then the whole class they learned the sweep-line algorithm and then they were able to solve the problem. Uh, so that's kind of the one of the moment that I remember. But for most of the time, a lot of students they are struggling with something like they learned a lot of knowledge in class, but they cannot pass certain level. Or maybe when they look at the solution, they know what's going on. But when they look at the contest, during the contest, they don't know where to begin. For this kind of a challenge or struggle, what's your suggestion?
Um, I guess like it's always like there's always some sort of like luck aspect to a contest. Like you kind of have to just pray that what you've learned and what you've practiced for the contest kind of aligns with what kinds of problems show up. And that's pretty, you can like try to like infer stuff from like looking at previous problems, but that's pretty much usually up to like some chance. But you can always like maximize your chances of like knowing the right stuff just by knowing more. I think it's a pretty like direct correspondence to like how much you practice just directly corresponds to like how likely you are to be able to like use your practice, apply your practice to solving the problems during the contest. I guess like if you're feeling like kind of disappointed that you know so much and um but you still haven't been able to apply it yet. I guess either like you're learning stuff that's like too high level and like maybe you should work on some more like low level problem solving skills, or uh alternatively you can also just trust in the process and like just like trust that as long as I keep learning, I'm eventually gonna reach a point where I will have like a better chance than not of being able to solve these problems. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. And talking about homework, I guess lots of the students, not lots of, but several of the parents from the Grandmaster class program at X-Camp, which is 602 and 602 and the 603 class, they told me recently that their kids they were struggling with homework and they got stuck for a long time, and sometimes the students they want to give up. Did you see something similar in your journey? And if so, how did you overcome those difficulties?
So like, yeah, I mean, of course, everybody like just gets stuck on problems for quite a while. Like me personally, like I spent like upwards of like I don't know like 12 hours on a single problem before, just like from like uh breaking on it, I guess. I think that's a totally normal thing. In my opinion, like it's fine as long as like you're not getting too frustrated over it. Like maybe if you're on like your third hour of a problem and you're like getting really mad at it, just like take a break, work on it another day or something. And like in that case, that's like as long as like your like I guess your productivity doesn't get like too affected by how much time you're spending, it's fine. And that's like why you would take a break for like long sessions. But um I think like spending like maybe just like doing a problem for 8 hours straight and just like not making any progress is probably inefficient. But like because like you can't really just focus for that long, and like probably by like the second or third hour you're already like being very unproductive on it. So just like take a break, maybe play some games, I don't know, come back to it later, and yeah.
Okay. And also talking about challenges or bottleneck, I guess all the participants of competition, they see challenges in some moments in their past. And typically, if they don't really know too many people, then probably have to face everything on their own. So when you were facing some of the challenges in the past, were you able to find some friends, or were you able to find enough support during your journey? And how would you weight friends and classmates and the coach in that whole process?
I mean, so basically like the entire 603 class for me was like I felt like really comfortable asking them questions or like asking for hints, and the teachers as well. And so I made a lot of friends through that. And yeah, I think like having someone to talk to with a problem, like work on a problem together, or even just ask for hints or like checking if you're thinking along the right direction, that's like really helpful for your productivity. And it actually helps you learn as well, because then now you're gaining like intuition for how to solve problems from other people as well, like your teachers, your friends, and it's just like expanding your own knowledge.
Yeah, and as a background introduction, the 603 class that Thomas mentioned was literally the first class at X-Camp, and pretty much the whole class students went to MIT or school similar to MIT level, which is a pretty good achievement. Okay, let's come to the next question. So we talk about several teachers' name in the past several questions. So are there any teachers or coaches or friends that you would like to thank, or maybe you remember some valuable moments?
I guess like I'd like to thank like you and Charlie for like just starting the whole thing to begin with. I remember I had lots of fun in Tiger's class as well, but I guess like for like the coaching aspect, I like to thank like Peter the most. So basically Coach Peter was like the one who kind of like brought me from like casually doing like coding to like seriously practicing it. And he also gave really like good insights onto problems and everything. And like he's also pretty strict. So like if you weren't doing your homework, he would make you do your homework. So yeah.
So at that moment you were already in Plantium. So what changed before and after Coach Peter started to coach you?
I guess like I just really decided that like I would like USACO Camp was like within reach, and like I would try to go for it. So after that, uh I don't know. I just like decided to put in more time and like get pretty serious about it. Mhm.
And also, given you were in the first class of X Camp, and at that time there were no prior camper at X Camp before you guys. How when is the time that you feel like probably camp is within reach and you started to become serious about it?
Um, I think like after like Locke camp, which I think like Locke was probably the first X camp
Yeah,
camper.
yeah.
And like I saw a bunch of people camped in 10th grade as well. Oh, in my 10th grade, so like 2022 or 2021 now? 2022, I don't know. So after that, and like there's also like I guess like with more campers, like you get more data about like how many problems you need to solve like make camp, and like I think like at the end it was like only need to solve like 2 to 4 problems throughout the whole season, which actually isn't that much considering that there's 12 problems in total. So like I guess like just knowing that and knowing that like I could already solve maybe like one problem per season, like that gave me like hope and like motivation for making camp.
Yeah, and then once you start to become serious about it, then what kind of a change did you observe in your daily practice, or say in your planning overall?
I guess it's like my practice went to like maybe like choosing like some days to just like get all the homework problems done. Like like the homework problems like became really hard. So like you can't really just like cram them all. So you have to like maybe spread it out over the entire week. So like um I think most days of the week I spend at least some time on practicing coding problems and stuff. Yeah. So
So
yeah. I think like before that it was like most days of the week I would not be practicing. But after that, yeah, it went the other way around.
so basically, in another way to say that like you have much more commitment than you used to be, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about friends? Like from friends' sides, do you remember like those classmates, and how and did they help you, or how did you guys interact with each other?
Yeah, so basically like the entire 603 class were all my friends, and a bunch of us are here at MIT now, and we still hang out with each other and have fun. But like I guess it's like practicing with a group of people rather than like alone, and like just like chatting and doing other stuff outside of coding as well is very helpful to increase to keeping your motivation for like continuing.
Yeah. And also, yeah, let's come to the next question. And then talking about hobbies, I guess all the senior high school students are pretty busy. I guess here it's not just hobby. It's probably many students have lots of activities. And lots of a question that parents or students asked it was about given the busy schedule, how can you balance everything?
So like to be completely honest and transparent, like I'm not like the best person to like give like a very good answer for this. Like I'm quite the procrastinator. I'll do everything like very last minute and stuff. So, but I guess like what I did, which basically I just like I like estimate how long it'd take me to get stuff finished, and just based on that, I'd leave like maybe a bit just like that and a bit more time to do it, and like I'll just like leave it till the very end and just like yeah, do it then.
Okay. So basically you do some planning, but it's not like super complex planning or scheduling,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And the next question is about beside programming. I remembered you were involved in lots of other activities during high school. Many of them were related to competitions. Like, can you give us some introduction to the activities that you were involved in?
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, so I ended up like helping write for a bunch of competitive programming contests like Teams Code, Parker Programming Invitational, and like some code forces rounds as well. Also serial codes. So like yeah, just a bunch of high school contests, and it was really fun making problems for that because like I guess making problems and solving problems are like two completely different skill sets. And it's pretty like nice to have some practice in both. I also like you can see like on the slide, I also have a teacher for Paragon X Academy, which is like me, Joe, and another friend like started that in like ninth grade, and it's been continuing for a while. It's still going now. And we still have classes, even though I'm not involved anymore. They're good classes.
Yeah. So when you were involved in those activities, what kind of motivation were behind those activities, and also what kind of achievement did you feel in the end of the day?
I guess like it's mostly for fun. It was like it was just like doing activities with a group of people that I really enjoyed hanging out with, and the content of the activities are like pretty interesting as well. So yeah.
Yeah, and indeed, it's a lot of time and bandwidth spent in these activities, and but it actually has a very big impact. For example, Teams Code. I guess in some contests there were probably thousands of participants, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and also they are all high school students. Then it's really good to make an impact to the community. And talking about activities, did you have some project or say like out of competition kind of a program activities in X-Camp or out of X-Camp?
Wait, like sorry, projects outside of X-Camp?
Like for example, like a research opportunity or say like I still remember there was a Shark Tank sort of a entrepreneurship program, so things like that we used to do.
Oh yeah, wait. I like there was that like one X-Camp like AI hosted like research like a brief research project thing. I guess I did do that. It ended up being like a pretty fun experience. But like outside of that, I didn't really do much like actual research. I guess like my biggest projects would be um maintaining like a coding blog, which I coded from scratch. I guess I also did some like work at an internship, but yeah.
Yeah. And when you do those projects or maybe do those actual activities or even to host those competitions, how would you weight the foundations that you built before that? For example, the 402 class, 502, and also 603. How did you find those courses to be useful to support your later experience?
I think it was actually very helpful because like I think what I've found is that like in like most of like maybe like 80% of like software engineering stuff, you won't need to use that many like you won't need to use like actually any algorithms that like I really exceed the scope of like the more like maybe even medium or advanced classes. So like basically having that background just allows you to allows you to like have the only hurdle be that you have to learn like a new language and like new like a new library or something. So like there's like really no like algorithm block for you. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that's it for this question. And also, given now you are already at MIT, um, can you share some of your current life and also how do you feel about it? Given there are so many excellent students there, do you feel any pressure or stress?
So like MIT's pretty chill. I think like any high schooler going to college will find that like college is a lot you have a lot of freedom. So for me, like for MIT at least, they don't let you take more than 4 classes in your first semester. So like I guess my class load isn't like too heavy as well. Um and like you just have a lot of time to like make new friends and like hang out with people. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and
Uh
also sorry, go ahead.
oh yeah, and I like also like do you feel any pressure? I guess not really. Um well for MIT at least the first semester is on like PNR, which is like pass or no record. So whatever grades you get, the worst case, they don't appear on your transcript. So like, there's really no pressure there.
Yeah. So, and talking about coursework at MIT, do you think the your past foundations in competition helped you to have a easier life at MIT?
Oh yeah. So I guess like just doing like this much algorithm stuff for competitive programming is really helpful, especially for the MIT algorithms courses. So like MIT has a bunch of algorithms courses, but like with like my competitive programming background, like I was able to just like skip to the graduate one in my first semester. So and I can like still do the P sets and everything. Um yeah, so like I'm able to keep up pretty well. Pretty helpful.
Yeah, and also talking about the your classmates at MIT, how many of them you think have competition experience, and how many? What's the rough percentage?
I think there's like some bias because like I hang out with a bunch of competition people, but like if I had to like guess, I'd say like maybe like 20 to 30% of the school like had some pretty big focus on Olympiads. Um and maybe the rest are like, I don't know, research and other stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So now next question is that talking about the future, it might be too early to say, but it's still your freshman year. Do you have any high-level plan or maybe idea of potential directions that you want to pursue in the future?
I guess like I'm still quite like undecided on the future. Like I could like still put potentially like go into industry or like go into research or like go for a PhD program. Yeah, so I'm just like yeah, like basically anything's still on the table, which is nice.
Okay. And next question is that today we have lots of parents and potentially probably they have their kids near them too, and it's really good opportunity for them to learn something from you. And given your past experience for X-Camp learning as well as your experience in the camp level, and also your experience at MIT, what's your suggestions that you want to share with the students who are still on the journey that you've already done?
So I guess like uh it's like good to try out maybe like coding Olympiad to see if you like it or not. But like I think that if you've invested like a good amount of time into it and like you've determined that you're not really that interested in it, like you probably shouldn't force it since like if you're not interested in like solving the problems or practicing, then there's just no way that you'll be able to like force yourself to work on it for hours and hours and really achieve like some really impressive results with it, I think. So like and like high school like I guess also a time to explore. So if like maybe like USACO competitive programming is not your thing, like that's totally normal. I know a lot of people who just like don't really like coding, but they're still like really good at other stuff. So like just if you're not interested, just feel free to just like try other things. And just like find like a passion that's something like you really enjoy doing. And I guess that will probably put you ahead in the future since like I think having something that like you really enjoy and you're decently good at when you're going to college or later is actually very helpful for like classes and whatnot. And like clubs and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and also talking about passion, how do you tell you are passionate enough to pursue the competitive programming path?
I guess like if you're able to like just sit a full like multiple USACO contests without like distracting yourself, that's probably good enough. But also like if you feel like satisfaction from solving a problem, like getting it accepted, maybe like if you enjoy thinking about the problems and just like spending like a long time on that, like maybe like if you can spend like hours thinking about a problem, then that probably like it competitive programming is probably going to be good for you.
Okay. And also, um, before competition, I mean, like before Platinum level, we actually maybe also gold level. For the bronze and silver, we actually never did some dedicated training for it or like lots of practice for it. We mainly try to build up the knowledge foundations for the whole class. And if you look back today, do you think those foundations are very critical and enough for you to use even without the later competition results, if you look back?
I think like the mock contests are like actually very helpful for simulating like a natural contest because like if you don't like decide that you're gonna spend these like 4 or 5 consecutive hours to solving a problem, so for solving like the set of problems, then uh like you won't be able to do that during the contest. Like I think that's like a skill you have to practice like this contest strategy and everything, and I think that's a skill that you'd want to practice if you want to like get really good at it. Yeah.
Okay. And also, given the 603 class that you used to stay with, for those all your classmates, you had a lot of good chemistries happened in that group.
Mhm.
It's really important for a group of students grow up like that. Do you have any suggestions in that front, like in terms of you would prefer walk alone, or you prefer to walk with a group of people to support each other?
But I definitely prefer working in a group because it's just like more efficient and like more fun in general.
Yeah, and also when you got stuck, you probably indeed can seek for help from other people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And uh, yeah, and also let's look at some of the questions in the chat. And also all parents and the students are welcome to put your question in the chat. The first question was that like, what kind of game did you play during your senior high school, and how did you stop playing? Actually, I don't think students would stop playing, but probably they play less. So yeah, Thomas, how would you
Uh,
answer the question?
I guess like I just like I've played a wide variety of games. Like I don't know, like Minecraft, like Genshin, Honkai Star Rail, like Valorant, like just like a very wide diversity of like game types and whatnot. Yeah. I guess it's like um yeah, I'm not sure what to add.
Yeah, then there were some students, probably today still, some of them they would not stop playing game. They once they touch a computer, they would just play for a long time. What's your suggestion to them? Like, and also if they want to achieve something in competition, how would you suggest them to do?
I mean, like me personally, I don't think I can play games for like very long periods of time. Like, but like if you're able to do that, then like surely you're also able to like set a contest for like if you can play a game for like 10 hours, like you can surely devote like half of that attention to like taking a contest in 5 hours, you know? Like, but I think like if you're um if you know that like you're gonna like if you start playing, then you're gonna keep playing. I guess like there you can like just probably try to not start that much. Like maybe sure you can like allocate some time for like maybe like I don't know like one like really intense gaming session like every 1 or 2 weeks, um and like still do that, but like just like make sure it doesn't like interfere with too much of the stuff outside of gaming. Yeah.
Yeah, so in summary, have some kind of a balance to make sure you don't overplay, and also try to shift the focus to be something like competition, and also probably I don't know, have a good planning. If you want to play, then maybe schedule some time to play. And also over here, I want to quickly add a side note. It's actually not like those students who get to the top achievement, they don't play or they don't play game at all. It's more about balance, and they are able to like kind of schedule things and plan things well, and also they have good priorities in their life as well. Uh, I've seen so many top competitors in USACO. They not only can compete in the top level in USACO, but also they can play also in the top level. Probably they play top level in tennis, in game, in ping pong, or in other places. For example, one of the top competitor in the competition history is Torres. His ID is Torres. He's a really good ping pong player. Yeah, that's a side note. So it's not like we should ban game for students. Instead, probably a better way to do it would be have a good balance. So the next question is that what is the average practice time, daily or weekly, starting from which level? I guess that's more specific to how much time did you spend weekly or daily starting from your beginner level?
I guess like in the beginner level, like I really did not spend too much time on like practicing. Like maybe like at most like 3 hours a week, probably on average like an hour. Um, but like once you get serious, like I guess it really varies. Sometimes like you're just locked in, and maybe you'll spend like 20 hours. So like I think like the least if you're extremely busy, probably you could get away with spending like 0 hours, but like on average, probably like I don't know, 10 to 15 hours a week.
And then later, when you try to when you started to learn data structure and the algorithm, those knowledge topics, before Plantium, how much time did you spend, like daily or weekly?
This wait before platinum.
Yeah, before Plantium, like for example, when you study basics about graph, dynamic programming, those kind of topics.
Yeah, I guess it still wasn't like that, like wasn't nearly as much compared to like after that to get serious. Maybe like I don't know, like 1 to 3 hours still. Maybe a bit more sometimes though at
Yeah,
that point.
probably three
Yeah.
to 4 hours per week. If I look back. But once you get to the planning level, start to shoot for camp, there was a summer where you, Max and Coach Robert taught you guys all day long, for how many days?
Oh
For
yeah, yeah. Like the summer camps was like a really long time. I guess like I think it was like 2 to 3 weeks, but like you basically spend the whole day working on problems with other people, and like when you go back home, if you're still like motivated, you keep on solving problems. I think like those days probably like maybe like 10 hours a day was spent like practicing. So like I guess
yeah,
like during like summer, yeah, that's a grind.
yeah. In that year, we already have a four camper, and Joe got in as well. And
Mhm.
for that summer, we have a very long summer camp starting from June. I think Coach Robert and Coach and teacher Max were here for probably more than 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, or maybe even 4 weeks. And then it's all day long practice, right? And also, the whole class were motivated to finish all the homework. How many problems can you remember roughly, like were finished in that year?
Like definitely like oh that entire year,
Yeah,
probably like more than like around 300 maybe more.
300. Then that means like if you just divide it by day, then it's probably close to one problem a day. And for that level of problem, it's actually a very difficult problem already, right? It's
Mhm.
already planting level, first problem kind of a difficulty. Yeah. Oh, and then next question. Oh, sorry. Let's see whether we finished everything in the previous question. Yes, we do. So the next question is that do you use ChatGPT or Google a solution when you feel no clue on a question I guess he's asking about in practicing or homework.
I guess like I've heard that ChatGPT can be sometimes good at like bouncing ideas off of. Like me personally, I don't think it's like too good though. Google as well. Like I'll probably only like Google something if like it seems like pretty if it's like it seems like pretty standard and I haven't heard of it yet. But I think ChatGPT is good for that as well. But like otherwise, for most problems, I think problem setters will try not to create like very standard problems. So they'll generally require a bunch of thinking, which Google and ChatGPT can't really help you with. So I guess like you can only rely on like um just your practice and like your own brain.
Okay. Um, Yeah, talking about that part, I've seen students who or parents they ask about when is a good time to look at a tutorial. Maybe they can find some tutorial online for certain questions. How would you suggest the usage of tutorial or example codes or maybe other people's codes that were previously accepted by the problem? How would you suggest people use it?
So I think tutorials are great. Like most of them will have like hints and stuff that will like lead you to the answer, and it'll like kind of show you what the correct thinking process for coming up with the answer is. For example code, like personally, I prefer to like at most read the solution and just like code it myself because that way like I'm making sure that I understand what the solution's saying, and also I'm practicing my implementation skills. So like it's like I like it's like if you have example code, like you're pretty much just like gonna end up copying off of it. So that's not very helpful. And it does like it doesn't like make sure that you've learned what the problem was like teaching you, and it hasn't helped you like learn how to code better.
Yeah, so when you do your homework, would you recommend students to when the codes are super complicated to implement, would you suggest them to copy the codes or copy part of it into the final submission?
I think like for very standard like data structures and algorithm and stuff, it's like fine to just copy the code because like you're pretty much coding the same thing over and over again. Like for me, like I think for a lot of stuff, I've just like coded it so much that I know that I could code it from memory if I wanted to. Like I'm just like saving myself like 5 minutes in practice to just like copy and paste it instead. But I guess like if you still like don't really, you're not like extremely familiar with the algorithm or data structure, then it might be helpful to still just code it from scratch to just make sure that you can work through it and like have it stored in your head.
Okay, thank you. The next question is that which grade did you start at X-Camp study?
I don't actually remember that. Like it's probably like wait, do you remember? I don't want to do like calculations right now.
Sixth grade, maybe.
Six.
Oh,
I thought like sixth or seventh grade probably. Yeah.
yeah, probably. And the next question is, who are the two EGY medalists? It's Tina and Michelle. And the next question is that how's your current environment at MIT and how has that helped you? Could you give a quick dorm tour of your working space? I guess it's up to you. You don't
I
have.
mean, I'm fine with it. Like luckily, our room's actually very big for a college dorm. I share it with another former X-Camp student. It's really messy though, but I don't know. Like,
Oh, who is the other
oh,
student?
Wei Ming.
Oh, okay, maybe.
Okay, it's like we got like a little like walkway there. So like the dorm I'm in, we're cooked for ourselves. So like we have a bunch of like food stored in like just on the ground. We got like our beds this way.
Okay.
It's pretty spacious. It's nice. One up there now. We get cabinets. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So the next question is, oh, sorry, I forgot to mention the first half. So how's your current environment at MIT and how has that helped you? Um,
Uh, like I think like the MIT vibe is like it's very collaborative and like people are very willing to help you out with like it's like anything. Like they'll like just explain stuff that they enjoy. So uh it's like it's very helpful for learning basically. Yeah. Like if you want to learn something, there's probably someone you can like ask who will be willing to teach you.
so I guess you probably can always find the expert of any specific di direction if you want to, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. The next question is that has XCAM helped you with MIT courseworks?
Has I wasn't this question already asked?
Yeah,
But the answer was, oh wait, has MIT helped you in X-Camp coursework? I don't think like that's really relevant anymore because like yeah.
yeah, that's true. And the next question was, what do you think you will do in the future? Yeah, I guess we already answered that, right?
Yeah.
Then the next one is, how has life at MIT influenced your perspective on life? Oh, it's very, very difficult question.
How has life at MIT influenced your perspective on life? That's pretty deep. I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that right now. It would require a bit of thought.
So the next question, is there anything that you regret about going to MIT? In particular, are there bad habits that you've picked up and are struggling with? How do you work to manage yourself with your new freedom?
I guess like bad habits, my sleep schedule is kind of like ruined. It's very unhealthy. Um, I guess like procrastination is still an issue. Um, so there's some friends have showed up to my room.
So I
Yeah.
guess this question is not it's not specific to MIT. I guess all students they will have some new freedom in college, and
Mhm.
the schedule might be not as simple as they used to be in senior high school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And next question is more like a joke, so I will just skip. Um, do your parent control your screen time? Do you feel like game has affected study in some way? Is a
Oh,
private message to
oh, wait, do your parents control your game time?
screen time.
Screen time? No, not really. Yeah. Wait, what was the other part?
That part is, do you feel like the game has affected your studies?
No, I don't think so. I think like as long as you keep like the healthy balance, you can like play a lot. Like you can still play a lot of games, do a lot of practice for coding, and still like be fine and on top of your studies. I think it's just like it depends on the person, and like it's all about like it definitely varies per person, and like it's about how you want to balance it. So yeah.
Okay. So the next question is that what are your hobbies at MIT? I guess the person is asking about any new hobbies that you picked up at MIT.
Yeah. So I guess like I recently picked up poker, so like I'm trying to like learn some poker theory now. I still like definitely play some games. Like I also started playing Geometry Dash over here. Um, I think MIT also has like a pretty big party culture, so uh, there's like I go to some of those as well. Mm.
Okay. And yeah, and we still have probably 5 to 7 minutes for parents and students. Please remember to take the precious opportunities to post valuable questions to Thomas. So the next one is that are you still teaching at Paragon X?
No. I think that's like a pretty high schooler thing. So
Okay.
we passed down the reins to some other people, and I there it's in good hands.
Yeah, and if there are some parents or students who are interested, you probably can Google Paragon X. And then the next question is that how do I get good at writing long code? I struggle on Mu language from US Open 2023, and I want to get good. Is it
Uh
is it a good problem? Thank you. Yeah.
well, I guess no offense to the problem writer, but in my opinion, it's a really bad problem because like there's no thinking and it's all coding. But I think and like I get your struggle. Like you're not the only one who struggled on Mu language. Actually, like a funny story is that we had that problem on like a USACO Camp contest, and pretty much everyone struggled on it. But I think for like writing long code, just try to keep yourself organized. And I think it's also helpful to like debug while you're writing the code, not after you finish writing all the code. Like, because after you finish writing all the code, it's much harder to find like isolate exactly where the bugs are. So yeah, I guess that's some advice. Also, just practice.
Yeah. So another note I want to add is that try to list what you want to achieve on paper first before you start to code, because that will make sure you have a very clear clear thought and idea in your mind, and you pretty much know what to implement before you even write the codes. Even if you want to write a brute force to get some points, then still that's a decision, not just go back and forth between debugging and change decision, but instead you make the decision first, do it on paper in a high level, and then start to write codes. That will save you lots of back and forth time, especially when the code becomes really long. The next question is that my daughter play poker, like to play poker, and she says it's good for her development of brain. Do you think it's helpful?
I think like poker, like there's actually a lot of like thinking that goes with it. Like you have to be able to like make some pretty fast like calculations in your head to like figure out like what are my chances of winning this hand. Like you also have to be able to like read the opponent and like put them on like a distribution of hands that they could have. So I think like anything that like uses your brain will like probably improve it. So poker is probably like an option. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So the next question is that when you joined USACO camp, were you in 11th grade? What courses
Yeah.
did you take that year, and did you feel overloads?
What courses did I take in 11th grade? Yeah, so I was in 11th grade. I think I took at my school. I took AP US History, um, Biology, Multivariable Calculus, Linear Algebra, Differential Equations, AP Physics C. There's probably some more. I forget. But I think like generally like the high school courses are pretty chill. So it wasn't too bad. Like it probably sounds like a lot of courses, but it's like high like a bunch of them were one semester courses as well. So yeah. It's like it's probably sound like more than it is.
Okay. Um, I guess a follow-up question would be like lots of students in that grade, they will need to take lots of AP courses, and like based on your own experience and also your classmates' experience, what was the situation look like, and also do you think there's a kind of a how did it go, and then how did other people overcome it?
Yeah, so um actually like like to add on to like, the previous answer, like also like partially the reason why like it wasn't like really stressful is like for like a bunch of the more advanced like math or mathematics courses, like having a good background in like competitive programming is actually really helpful for that. And like you can like pretty much like digest all of the scary stuff about it. And like 'cause like you're already familiar with like that kind of like stuff, right? Um like it's like AP courses don't really cover like too much advanced math, but like I guess that's still applicable to like AP Calc BC or like AP Calc AB. So I guess like knowing some coding like actually does help with that. For other APs, I think um the general advice from like people I know is like the APs like they're very structured, so you kind of know exactly what they're looking for. Like they post their rubrics and stuff. So like knowing that it makes it a lot easier to like give them the answer that they're looking for rather than like the one you want to give. Yeah.
Okay. The next question is, did you graduate from a private or public high school? What about the other team members? I guess he's asking about your classmates.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, probably answer this part first. There's a second part.
So I guess like I graduated from Harker, which is a private school, and other like team members like you think wait, I'm not sure what team, but like wherever whatever team it is, I'm sure there was like a diversity of like private and public school graduates. Um, besides, do you think there are other factors? Probably not really. I think like as long as you show that like you're good at one thing, and you're decently good at it, and like you're not like failing everything else, then I think that's like pretty much the kind of person that MIT would be looking for.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Thomas. And next question is, how did you understand the super complicated fast Fourier FFT basically? And especially since it's pretty standard topic now. It's a very specific
Yeah,
technical
it's a
question.
very specific questions. So I think there are like some applications of like FFT on segment tree, like especially for like dynamic knapsack problems. I think like it's really helpful to like understand the algorithms and like the instructions like one at a time. Like it you should probably understand how FFT works and like how segment tree works, and then like maybe if your understanding is deep enough, then you can combine them together and uh like figure out how they work together and like why like the motivation between why that is.
Okay. I think it's already a time and let's see whether we have any more questions that we haven't answered yet. Let me check again. There's a new question. What is the style of the parents and the home atmosphere? Do you have to deal with a lot of disciplines at home? I guess it's mainly asking about how come a good son like you got cultivated. Yeah, that sort of question.
I don't know. I don't know if I really count as a good son, but like I guess my parents are pretty chill. There's like not a lot of discipline. I think like uh if like the parents are hands off, like I guess completely hands off isn't exactly like very good. I guess you should like keep your child accountable for things, and like but I think you shouldn't like really force your child to do what they don't want if they clearly like dislike it, and it's like it won't like clearly be beneficial for them. But I think you could definitely like try introducing them to new stuff. Like my I didn't like find like USACO on my own. Like my parents kind of like introduced me to it. Like they brought me to a class, which but like they didn't really like force me to like really like study for it. I just decided that I enjoyed it and it was good enough for me to do on my own. So I think as long as like you keep like presenting more opportunities for your child, that's like good enough rather than just like forcing them to do like one. Yeah.
Yeah, I can share a little bit more information because I've lots of interaction with the parents of the first class. I think Thomas' parents are really helped Thomas with a lot of respect and love. The reason is that they would always discuss with the coach about how to help Thomas. What's her observation right now, and also what's the right way to proceed going forward. And although like sometimes there are certain aspects that they would like Thomas to change, but I don't see any sign of, like things like, hey, Thomas, you must do this, or maybe Thomas, you must do that. Instead, it's more like a like adjustment in a respectful way. I think all those things are important. Plus, as Thomas mentioned, it's always good to respect the children's decisions as well. Um, I guess that's all the questions that we can answer today. And Thomas is X-Camp's alumni, and we do have lots of alumni, and we will, in the future, will invite some of them to share their knowledge and their experience as well. So thanks a lot, Thomas, today for coming here to share your experience and also inspire the new generation of kids and their parents too. And yeah, it's a pleasure to see you again.
Yeah.
Now imagine when you were sixth grade. I cannot imagine now you're already freshman at MIT. It's also very proud of me to see you now, and also I guess for other coaches too. Yeah, thank you for attending today's event. And for parents and students, please um, please feel free to stay for longer. We have a USACO Ask Me Anything section right after. And also in the future, as I mentioned, we will invite more camper and also more excellent students in different areas to X-Camp's educational forum. Thank you for attending the Thomas section. Cool. Yeah, Thomas, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. I guess we will have a I will stop my share and Anna, I will let you to take over the screen share starting from here. Anna, is that?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll start my share now.